The United States is something special. It is a country full of many cultures, but one of the most prevalent is the black community. Many African Americans and their culture can be found all around the country, but it wasn't always super respected. So, what ignited civil rights, and who is responsible for gaining respect for many African Americans? To understand this, we need to take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. America during the early 20th century did not meet all of these needs for everyone. The black community during this time had some of the lower needs fulfilled, but did not have them all. Many of these people were only achieving the first two levels, but little did they know a college football team would change all that. Before we can understand what this team did, we have to understand how they came to be. Sports are a special cultural thing for us as human beings, as it has many benefits to ourselves and often our development as who we are as an individual. Team sports are no different. Sports teams tend to be a close-knit group that will be there for each other, in or out of the sport itself. Because of this dynamic, it allows the specific college team to be as impactful as they were. Now that I've explained all this, you're probably wondering who they are. The 1939 University of California, Los Angeles Bruins football team. This team was one of the few teams at the time to have multiple African American players, and they were good. These players were a part of a very good team who boasted a 6-0-4 record during the 1939 season. But it was what these players did after their time at UCLA that really affected everybody. This UCLA team, coached by Babe Horrell, had 5 black players: Jackie Robinson, Kenny Washington, Woody Strode, Ray Bartlett, and Johnny Witt. We were going to focus on the 3 that had the most effect: Woody, Kenny, and Jackie. We'll start off with Woody, who was a 2-sport athlete, competed in football at teams' offensive and defensive ends, and running track and field. Then we have Kenny, who competed in football at the team's tailback and played baseball, which he considered his better sport. Finally, but not least, Jackie, who was a 4-sport athlete, playing basketball, football, track and field, baseball. Ironically, his weakest sport. These 3 athletes ended up shaping America as we know it today. This team was feared by many competitors and even had UCLA's first ever All-American in Kenny Washington. Babe Horrell provided an environment that allowed his athletes to have all of their fundamental needs met. Kenny and Woody made their difference by breaking the color barrier in football. Kenny was the better of the 2 and was feared around the country by competitors. Kenny was selected to play in the All-Star game during his time at UCLA. He ended up playing against the Super Bowl champ Green Bay Packers, and his skills matched up well. He even impressed the Chicago Bears owner, but sadly, he was not drafted in the 1940 NFL draft. He ended up signing with the Hollywood Bears in the Pacific Coast Football League, a rival of the NFL. He played with them for a couple of seasons until 1946, when the Cleveland Rams moved to Los Angeles. They signed Kenny Washington. This broke an unofficial 13-year ban of black athletes in the NFL. After he was signed, they offered to sign anyone. He requested that they sign his former teammate Woody Strode. This was a great thing because it showed African Americans they could succeed on the biggest stage. Now let's move on to their teammate, Jackie Robinson. Jackie was an amazing player and was a 1-2 punch with Kenny on the football field. After graduating from UCLA, he was drafted into the Army to fight in World War II, but was dishonorably discharged after refusing to sit in the back of the bus due to segregation rules. He decided to pick the glove back up and began playing for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro League for a few months before he was signed to the Montreal Royals, a minor league team under the Dodgers. He eventually moved all the way up to the Major League, playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He played his first Major League game on April 15, 1947, breaking the color barrier in baseball. But it wasn't straightforward for these young men. They faced a lot of challenges during their time pioneering in their sport. All of them faced racism in many forms. Kenny and Woody were not allowed to stay in the same hotel as the rest of the team during most away games, but they didn't let that beat them down. During a game in Chicago, Kenny told Woody, "They're going to give us $100 apiece to go find someplace else to stay." They ended up in the Persian Hotel, the most luxurious hotel in Chicago. Woody later said, "Well, what the hell? Let's be segregated." In Charles Ross' book, Outside the Lines, he says, "Both felt that on the football field, everyone is trying to hurt everybody, and it was difficult to know who was trying to hurt you simply because you were black." Woody faced even more for his love life, as he ended up marrying a woman of Hawaiian descent. which brought extra discrimination against himself. But probably the biggest problem for the two was that no one in the organization wanted them there for their skills. Kenny was signed due to a stipulation in getting the Coliseum for games. They signed him because the city of Los Angeles required that they have an African American player on their roster in order to secure the venue. So in order to meet the stipulation, and hopefully to draw more tickets from African Americans, they signed Kenny, arguably the best African American football player at the time, and allowed him to, quote, choose one of his own so he wasn't lonely. Rams backfield coach Bob Snyder even said, I doubt we would have been interested in Washington if we had stayed in Cleveland. And that wasn't the end of the hardship for them. Kenny was out of his prime, in need of a third knee surgery, which kept him sidelined for most of his time playing, and Woody was never given a real chance to display his abilities. Woody left after his first season, and Kenny played 2 more after, but their effect lasted forever. Jackie had a different story. Branch Rickey, the Dodgers general manager, wanted to integrate baseball, so he tested Jackie with situations he might face to make sure he was ready. He tested him by calling him many slurs and then looking at his reaction, but Jackie kept a cool head through it all. Branch knew that whoever he had break the color barrier would face a lot of racism, so he wanted an athlete who could be able to face it appropriately, and Jackie could. During his time playing, owners would lock stadiums, cancel games, and even call the police while he was on the field to prevent him from playing. But Jackie's disposition paid off, and he had a great 10-season career with 6 All-Star appearances and even ended up in the Hall of Fame. After retiring, Jackie used his popularity to push civil rights. Now you're probably wondering why this is important. These 3 athletes, making it to the professional level, showed other African Americans they could reach their goals. Gerald Early illustrates this well in his book, A Level Playing Field. When talking about the signing of Kenny, he said, "We did not celebrate with anything near the same intensity the semi-centennial of Joe Louis's 1938 defeat of German Max Schemmer, Jesse Owens' track victories in the 1936 Berlin Olympics, also considered a momentous event in relations, in some measure, their international significance, that contributes to our valuing less than we should. This showed that the larger scale events were less impactful than the ones in our own country. Without these smaller events, America would not be the same." Martin Luther King Jr. was even inspired by the acts of Jackie, Kenny, and Woody, saying, "Jackie Robinson incessantly raises questions to sear America's conscience, and because of what Martin Luther King Jr. and many others did, rights for African Americans changed." This was all caused by Coach Babe Horrell, who created the perfect environment for his team. Coaches can make or break a team's success in winning, but they also have a huge effect on the culture of a team. If we go back to the fundamental needs of a human, he created an environment that fulfilled his athletes' needs and showed them how great an integrated team could be. This success that he created was carried on with the athletes through the rest of their lives, and they helped other people have all their needs met. This truly means that the UCLA 1939 football team was at the forefront of black rights. This team developed key figures who challenged the rights and responsibilities deserved by African Americans living in the United States. Many important events followed these 3 making it to the professional level, like Brown v. Board of Education, May 17, 1954. Montgomery bus boycott, December 1955 to December 1956. March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, August 28, 1963, and so much more. This was all accomplished because Kenny Washington and Woody Strode defied all odds and made it to the NFL in 1946, and Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in the MLB in 1947. Imagine what the U.S. would be like if they never pursued their passions.